Trust in government. And I've asked my students, and the vast majority of them say they don't trust their government. And I asked them why. And for a lot of them, they say that their government lies to them. Okay, well, I could see that. I see that their government can offer a lot of mistruths and deceptions, and that is definitely the case. But a lot of times, you have students that believe this because that's what they're, maybe that's what they're told to believe, that their parents tell them to believe that, or society tells them to believe that. Well, how did we get here in the first place? How did our trust in government get so bad? Well, obviously, when it comes to the Vietnam War, you had many Americans start to see what they're seeing on TV was not matching what the government was telling them. This was part of the credibility gap, where what the government was telling them was not matching up to what they were seeing, what they were witnessing. And so he's like, well, how can we take you as credible when we can't even trust you to basically say that we shouldn't believe our own eyes? And even that's true to this day, where government would tell you one thing, but your eyes are completely seeing something else. Well, that got exponentially ratcheted up when the Pentagon Papers were released. Now, the reason why the Pentagon Papers were so detrimental in how we trust our government and how angry America got with our government is because of the true consequences of the Vietnam War. Now, imagine, and many people didn't have to imagine this was their reality, that their brother, that their family member went to Vietnam. And they went over there and they were scarred by it. Maybe literally, as maybe they lost a limb, maybe figuratively as they saw things that they shouldn't see. Maybe they were a victim of Agent Orange whenever they went over there and they started to develop cancers thanks to this toxic chemical that was being blasted on the Vietnamese rice fields and trying to do a scorched earth policy. But now they were affected by it and they soon died from the cancers of it. And it was a horrible thing to experience. And so all this really happened to a lot of Americans. Burying your family member, seeing your family member suffer through these things of Vietnam, only to find out that a few years later in the 70s, that say for example, you had somebody die in the Tet Offensive in 1968. But the government knew in 1961 that this was a lost cause. How would you feel about that? That the government knew that Vietnam was a lost cause, that we were never going to win this war, but they're openly lying to the American public and sending our soldiers over there anyway in the name of stopping the spread of communism. That made a lot of Americans very angry, very upset, and they simply don't trust their government anymore, and we still haven't recovered from that.